We are here to call a team meeting. We're closing the doors. We need all everydayers to step up and listen up because we have got to figure out what's going on with the Astros. They got swept by the Mariners, but all hope is not lost. We got 4 against Boston at home. They know what's going on. We know what's going on. Let's focus on moving forward on today's Locked On Astros.
Alvarez hits a high drive center field. Bierling's back. This game is turned upside down. There's the runner. Fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we update you joins for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talks Astros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros. It's your team every day. Brett, where can they find you at while we're talking about the Astros winning or losing games?
Well, they're not winning right now, but you can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram at H-Town Wheelhouse. You can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros. And after your intro, Eric, I want to talk to some fans that we may have in here that don't normally show up, but I want to let them know that they're welcome. But I'll let you finish the intro, and then I'll talk to them today.
All right, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. If you're a Mariners fan here, go and subscribe to us as well. We appreciate you listening in to us and tuning in. And we're all friends here. We all love baseball. We all love this sport. So go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast or the Locked On Mariners if you want to watch that podcast as well. And guys, if you want to go ahead and get to one of these games coming up, you can go and download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. And Brett's trying to cover up the screen for some reason, but the Astros did get swept. So Mariners fans, I'll go ahead and say, yeah, the Astros got swept. I know Martin Maldonado said it was like a slap in the face, and it's just how it happened. It was just not, the Astros weren't really in any of these games. There was one bright moment, and that was Jose Altuve reaching the 2,000 hit mark. I know you were at the game, Brett, and you got a chance to video that, so that was great. And there was a closed door meeting after Sunday's loss where they got close to making a comeback, but it wasn't close enough. And is this the wake-up call that the Astros need? Because they play 7 out of the next 10 games versus the Red Sox. And the Red Sox have just destroyed the Yankees. And the Yankees are just free-falling. I don't think the Astros are in the same boat as the Yankees right now, but there are some issues. No. And if the Astros do face the Mariners in the playoffs, it's going to be a tough matchup.
Well, we thought that last year, Eric, and we swept them. Let me just address the 10,000-pound gorilla in the room, and that is Mariners fans hanging out with us tonight. Number one, we appreciate you. Okay, unlike some other podcasts, we don't talk trash about you, and we don't talk down to you because we know you're intelligent baseball fans. Look, I said from the beginning, and you everydayers can attest to this, and y'all can go back. There's video evidence of it. What 2 teams did I say were going to be fighting for the division? I said it's going to be the Astros and the Mariners. I didn't believe in the Rangers. I didn't believe they had a product that was selling in my mind. And the Mariners have stepped up. They did what they needed to do to take care of business. Texas thankfully lost 3 games and got swept themselves. But if you're here and you're an M's fan, we thank you for joining. Hey, guess what? A Mariners fan pushed us to 8,500, and we hope that you keep coming back. Why? Because like Eric said, it's baseball and it's fun. We enjoy this, and we love everyone that comes to us from whatever team that you are a part of. So definitely join in. Look, as you can talk smack all you want to, don't make it personal. Don't be insulting, and don't use foul language, because I'll ban you in a second and you'll never come back to this channel again. But if you come on this show and you can take it as much as you dish it out and it's fun and it's not personal, then you know what? We're all for it. So if y'all would, I need y'all to subscribe to our channel. We need to get to 9,000. Eric, I'm announcing right now, when we get to 10,000 subscribers, I'm giving away a Morgan Ensberg autograph baseball. I'm giving away more bobbleheads, and I'm going to find another autograph item, Astros autograph item, to give away on top of that. So help us get to 9,000. Help us get to 10,000. Look, let me just go straight to this series. This series was unlike anything I thought that we were going to see. Number one, I think Kyle Tucker being out was not a good thing. And with your really hottest offensive player being out, somebody else had to step up, like Yordan Alvarez. Yordan Alvarez, they found a way to defeat him this weekend. He was not effective. But it was the pitching, Eric. We put ourselves behind the 8 ball in the very beginning, and this sweep was because it almost looked like there was no heart out there on the field. And that's why I'm glad they had the closed door meeting. And that's why I'm glad Martin Maldonado said verbally, it was like a slap in the face. And look, you guys have all this angst about it, and we understand that because you love the Astros. But you know who cares even more than you do about these losses and the more concerned? It's the players themselves, because they didn't come here to lose. They came here to repeat. And
Right.
they know repeating is very difficult. So there you go. I just had to get those things out there. We appreciate y'all coming here. We're not going to talk down to you. We're not going to insult you. But if you do make it personal, you're gone.
All right, so more, no, you got me almost saying Morgan Ensberg, but Alex Bregman said, I think we just played terrible. We need to play a lot better. Everybody in here knows this. And so if you look at what Maldonado said, he said it was a slap in the face, the sweep. And I think all Astros fans can admit, yeah, the Mariners are a good team. And we faced them in the playoffs last year. We kind of remember how that ended. But the Mariners are not a bad team. There's a lot of great teams in the AL West. But Maldonado said the purpose for the closed door meeting was the key will be better energy in a dugout, not being satisfied after you lose. And I feel like every team that comes here and plays us wants to beat us, and we just didn't make them earn it. We feel like we're giving it away. And I know that you and I have talked about something similar to this. Like they don't play. It seems like they're not playing to their ability at times.
That, and I'm glad you said that quote. I'm glad you emphasized that at the end. We, the team, feels like we're giving it away. These were like the 2-0 loss. That was a winnable game. The 7-6 loss, that was a winnable game. The only game that was a shellacking was game 2.
Yeah.
Game 2 got out of hand quick.
And we'll talk about that in a little bit.
But the thing is, maybe getting swept is what this team needed. Maybe getting their, what's handed to them is what this team needed. And if this motivates the Astros, look, the Rangers and the Mariners play each other 6 times or 7 times in September. So they're going to beat up on each other when the time comes. If the Astros can just take care of business, win this next series, win each series, at least split if there's a 4-game series, then I think everything will work out by mid-September. In the Astros, you may not see them move into first place until the end of September, and that may be the thing. But maybe that's what this team needs. Maybe they need that challenge. Maybe they need that rise, that heat on their seat. Because there was a tweet, I don't have it in front of me, but Jeff Lunau in December said complacency is the enemy of champions. Complacency and a lack of urgency is the enemy of a winning culture continuing on. And he was talking about that around the time that the Astros didn't seem to be doing much or moving much in free agency after they won the title. Right. And so this is where we are. I think such a time as this, it's an urgent time in the Astros clubhouse. And you know what, Mariners? You may have woken up a sleeping giant.
Hopefully. And that's what Alex Bregman said. He said, well, we play 7 of the next 10 games against the Red Sox. He said, we'll see what we're made out of. And that's a good quote because the Astros have shown that they can win. They've been winning a whole bunch of series recently. They just can't seem to get that sweep. But in this series, it was about the pitching. And I think Friday's game, there was a good pitching matchup with JP France on the mound. He's become our most reliable pitcher. Outside of the no-hitter, Framber Valdez has struggled in the second half. We'll talk about Framber Valdez in a little bit. And Christian Javier, He's just not the same bro anymore. And Hunter Brown, he just didn't look that good in today's game, and he looked very hittable, and he wasn't fooling any of the Mariners guys. And so it's frustrating to know how good your team can be. But you know what, guys? The Astros need you in their seats. They need you out there rooting for them over the next couple of days. And if you don't have tickets, go to Game Time. Game Time is a great way to get tickets. We used it the other day to go to Friday's game.
That's right. Let me tell you, we went to Game Time. It was very easy. 2 clicks. It was in my email, and I was there. I actually got to go to Saturday's game as well. See Altuve hit his 2000th hit. Thank you to Game Time. Last minute ticket deals, there's nothing like it. Forget planning for months in advance. The flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy theater, and more will have you set. And also, if you find tickets in the same section in the same row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% the difference in your wallet, give you credit for more purchases. So get images of your seats before you buy so you can know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds. 2 taps again and you're set. The tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you never have to dig through your email. So snag the tickets today. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Once you create the account, go look for your favorite event, even if it's an Astros game. Hey, look, they play a day game this week against the Red Sox. Go check that out. So go to Game Time. They are the best tickets, the lowest price, guaranteed. And the Astros play the Red Sox Monday, 7:10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Astros. Eric, this series has a lot of storylines and plot lines, and it's almost like we could get into the woods so deep with this series that we could lose focus. But to not acknowledge Jose Altuve's 2000th hit and how great of a feat that is, I mean, that's a huge thing. He's only the third Houston Astro to do that. And what's great about his 2000th hit is he got thrown out almost the exact same way Biggio got thrown out. But Biggio told McTaggart after the game, he said, he goes, I probably shouldn't have stretched mine into a double. He goes, I was definitely not getting there. He said, Jose actually almost made it. There's a lot of really cool admiration that goes on from King Biggio to King Tuve.
Yes. And Altuve said he was actually kind of nerve-wracking and trying to get to 2000. That's a big milestone. Like, I know we just reached 8,500 subscribers on YouTube. So that was a big moment for us. Can you imagine just trying to get out there and perform to try to get hit? And that's what he said. He said, as it was getting close, some guys on the team and family members started talking about 2000, and you feel a little anxious and nervous about going to home plate and doing it. And so he just did it. And he said, I know that we lost today and not in a good way, but I'm really happy and thankful with where my teammates, my family, and God. 2000 is a huge accomplishment. And it's actually, he's joined Hall of Famers Jeff Bagwell with 2,314 hits and Biggio with 3,060 hits as the only Astros to hit 2,000 or more. And so it's awesome. And he's actually the 7th active player with 2,000 career hits. He's the 2nd active player to reach that mark only playing with one team. Joey Votto is the other guy. And he's the 3rd player in Astros history to do it. I already talked about that with Jeff Bagwell and Biggio. So, and I believe that he is the fastest player ever to hit 2,000 hits, 200 home runs, and 200 stolen bases.
Yeah, he did that in 1,631 games.
Right.
That is a huge thing. Someone's asking us about Framber Valdez's outing and just kind of breaking down some of the stuff that he went through. I can tell you this, that Chandler Rome talked about Framber Valdez's sinker. Okay. Framber Valdez's sinker was not working the other night. Chandler Rome noted that his sinker does not have the same depth it did during the first half of the season, averaged 24.2 inches of vertical drop on his sinker last season. He entered Saturday, start generating 20 and a half inches this season. He is throwing the pitch harder too, which can impact the movement and neutralize one of his most valuable traits. And this is what he said. He's not as down in the zone as he usually is with the sinker, probably a little flatter, a little more elevated in the zone. So it's easier to lift. This is from Josh Miller. The shape of his sinker isn't as depthy when he's throwing harder, and it probably takes away from it being located down. The reason why I want to talk about that is I caught a clip just randomly of Greg Maddux, and Greg Maddux was talking. You know how great Greg Maddux was through 88 to 91, right? He said when he learned the importance of not throwing with velocity, but throwing with movement and in being able to hit the zone, that revolutionized his career. Greg Maddux was one of the most difficult hitters to hit. And Tony Gwynn was one of the few people that had success against him. And Framber is probably trying to throw too hard. And this is the key. After the game, he said, I've been trying to replicate my start like I had in the no-hitter. I think he's overthrowing, Eric. And I think that's his problem. Once he gets, I think, more mentally focused. And a little sidebar, Julio Rodriguez of the Seattle Mariners held Framber back and told him to chill out. Framber did.
He's 22 years old, by the way.
Okay, look, I genuinely don't think he threw at Caballero on purpose. I think the pitch got away from him. I know the Locked On Mariners guys are convinced that Framber was like going after him. I think the pitch got away. I think when he mentally gets broken down in his head, he has a hard time focusing. And we know with his throwing motion, when it's off, it's off. So I'm not excusing a pitcher hitting a batter, but that did not look intentional to me. But both of them were warriors. Caballero was like, what's up? And Framber's like, well, I can't hear you. Like, you want to say something? I can't hear you. So they walk towards each other. Naturally, the bench is cleared. I think Framber gets fixed by the playoffs. Look, if Framber gets fixed, if Tucker comes back healthy, if Alvarez continues to figure it out and get RBIs just as quick as anybody's ever done it in the major leagues, every 5.38 at bats, I think the Astros will be okay when the time really, really counts.
Yeah, Valdez says trash. I thought it was a bad outing for me. I thought it was bad. I made it to the fifth inning, but I thought it was a bad outing for me. He said Caballero reacted on a little bit crazy there. It was a bad pitch. I hit him by mistake. It wasn't intentional. Obviously, hit by pitches happen in game. He reacted a little bit aggressively, so I reacted as well. It's part of the game. Things happen. So for those Mariners fans that are tuning in to Locked On Astros for the first time, welcome. But Framber Valdez in the past has he has great stuff. He is a top of the rotation type of starter. He does deal at times with frustration and losing focus. And this is something that Martin Maldonado said. He said, I think he's losing focus a little bit. And like you said, he's trying to duplicate what he did in the no-hitter. But what I think happened here was yes, it was after a home run. So I don't think that he was intentionally trying to hit him. I just think that he was trying to, he just didn't have control of his attitude, his mind, everything. And the pitch, and he was just, and it just.
Well, honestly, I mean, we know the mental side of his game has always been the toughest part of his game. When Carlos Correa was here, remember the 2020 playoffs? Right. Remember, when Yanni Diaz got in his face and all that stuff happened, and Carlos put his finger in his chest, like, you can't do this. You got to be better. And I honestly think Framber Valdez will be fine. Okay. Yeah. Again, earlier, I didn't say I excused it. I know a lot of people are saying, well, that's a weak argument. I mean, that's fine. I mean, you are entitled to your own opinion, but until you know the facts that he actually threw at him, you saying that he threw at him on purpose is simply an opinion.
To be honest, he's not going to come out and say, yeah, actually, I threw at him. This is not Nolan Ryan. This is not old school baseball.
But my thing is, it's Caballero. It's a rookie. It's not like Caballero's going up there with 45 home runs and he's going to hit another tank on him. To me, it'd be different if it was a Julio Rodriguez, if it was a Ty France, if it was a Cal Riley, right? Like someone that could do damage like that to me. Like if it was Pete Alonso up next and boom, you plunk the big guy. Like that to me makes more sense. But I'm not going to go into
before we move on from Valdez, since the All-Star break, including the no-hitter, he is 2-3 with a 6.18 ERA. He has a 1.31 WHIP in 7 starts. He's allowed 45 hits. 9 home runs, walked 12, struck out 37 batters, and 43 and 2/3 innings. That is not the same Framber Valdez that we know. And so there is something that is wrong with him. And I know he's kind of gone away from his cutter a little bit. He's just not really, he's just not focused like he was. And so maybe they're able to fix him a little bit, but I'm a little worried the fact that he doesn't look like himself. Christian Javier, it doesn't look like himself. And Hunter Brown seems now that he's reached his innings limit that he's pitched. So like you got JP France and Justin Verlander, and then Jose Urquidy is just kind of going like, yeah, I'm just here.
Yeah, those look. I mean, look, come on, man. Jose Urquidy's. I mean, there's no reason to like say anything bad about Jose Urquidy. He hasn't done anything bad. I mean, the guy hasn't played all freaking season long, and look at this. Spy says, I'm a Mariner. And he goes, but I like the Astros when Randy Johnson went over there. Hey, look, we loved when Randy Johnson came here. I'm just still bummed to this day that we couldn't sign him long term. I mean, we also didn't sign Nolan Ryan. So that just tells you about that ownership group that, they were probably fun at parties. But I think at the end of the day, Eric, what the Astros have to do is do what they've talked about after the game. Look, they're like, basically, we sucked. Like, this was terrible. We should have played better and we should have been better. And I can tell you from this weekend and from this last week, I know that if you want to go hang out at some of the coolest places in all of Houston, you need to go to your local Hooters. Hooters, why? Because Hooters makes you happy. The world famous Hooters girls are there, and they want you to know that they've got specials all week long. Monday, buy one, get one wings. Tuesday, $9.99 burger and fries. Wednesday, buy one, get one boneless wings. Thursday, $19.99 wings and Big Daddy bundle. Friday, $19.83 crab legs, $3 Blue Moon drafts, and $9.99 Michelob Ultra pitchers. Let me tell you, in Pearland, starting September 7th, mark your calendar. They are going to be doing every Thursday night after Thursday Night Football, karaoke. That's right, karaoke. Eric's favorite pastime. He's probably going to be there, and they have happy hour till close. So you may want to take that Friday off. But anyways, September 7th, they have that. And there are other bus trips that the Pearland Hooters is planning right now. They don't have specific dates, but they are in Baytown. They are in Humble. They are in Galveston. They are in Katy. And we will be listening on the Hooters promo, because we will be promoting some items that when you tell them you listen to Locked On Astros, you'll be getting some cool stuff when you walk into the restaurant. So hang out, listen for that. Go watch your Astros games at your local Hooters. Why? Because Hooters makes you happy. And if you can't watch them, if you can't go anywhere, but you've got Sirius XM, then go listen to the Astros play the Red Sox Monday, 7:10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with Sirius XM on the SXM app. Search Astros.
All right. So just kind of wrapping up on this whole Framber Valdez thing. I don't know if we'll know ever if it was intentional or not intentional. And we're not trying to defend him. We do know that he gets emotional and kind of loses his cool at time. I do want to say, Mariners, you have a good one. And Julio Rodriguez there. I know you already kind of mentioned that. Not only is he a good player, but he was the first one out there, and he was the one to kind of hold Framber Valdez back and make sure nothing else happened. So I think that I know Neris was another one of those guys that went over there and kind of calmed them down as well. But I think that there's just been a lot of bad blood between these two teams for the past 2 years. And I know we saw it made for a good playoff series last year in the playoffs. And if the Mariners are now basically, I think they have the same amount of losses. The Astros have one more win than the Mariners right now. So the Mariners are coming for the Astros right now. And so the Astros need to play like their backs are against the wall, because the backs are against the wall. And you've got a team that's the Rangers were starting to, after not losing for so long, now they get swept by the Brewers. And now you get swept by the Mariners. Congratulations, Mariners fans. Y'all, your team did great this series, but it's just frustrating. And so now you have a team in the Red Sox that have just dominated the New York Yankees and basically put them in their, I don't want to say their grave, but put them in their place for the 2023 season. And now you have to face them for 7 games in 10 games. That's going to be a tough matchup
for you. Alex Bregman said, we've got to be better. Jose Altuve, even though he got 2,000 hits, I promise you he would much rather have a series win than a 2,000 hit. Like Altuve, if you would ask Altuve, would you rather go 0 for 12 in a series and win it, or go 5 for 12 in a series and get your 2,000th hit? I guarantee he would go series win every single time, because that's what kind of person Jose Altuve is. Look, we're getting Brantley back soon. That's going to be a good thing. If Abreu comes back and he's better, which is going to be hard to not be better because he's been very bad. But Eric, can you imagine if he comes back and he's better and they put Diaz in at DH, okay? Or they start, catching him more, because Diaz's bat plays. It plays. Tucker, when he gets healthy, this team healthy, this team rolling in the right direction is way different, okay? And this is what I think is a real possibility. And if y'all go watch the YouTube shorts, I interviewed a couple Mariners fans. One of them was wearing a really cool Sean Kemp jersey, so I had to talk to him. He's actually a clothing designer there up in Seattle. I said, I can see the Mariners and the Astros kicking the Rangers into third place and us being the top two teams in our division. I really can. And I don't think that's outside of the realm of possibility. So
right,
this thing's not over, Eric. I mean, this is going to be, to me, this is fun. This is good stuff. And again, not to talk in the past, but when we swept the Mariners last year, I didn't think we were going to sweep them. We shouldn't have won that first game. But I think this next 2 months are going to be probably some of the most enjoyable baseball that we've watched. And I think the Astros may have flipped a switch tonight.
One thing that I'm worried about, I'm all for a comeback story, and I've been rooting for John Singleton, but he is 1 for 23 since his 2 home run game. He is struggling, and I know that Jose Abreu has been actually working with Yainer Diaz at playing first base. I know that Dusty Baker doesn't really feel comfortable with him playing first base, so we'll see how much action he gets there, but there's got to be some answer for first base. If Singleton's not the guy, I think they'll probably give him a little bit more time, but at this point, you've got to put your best team out there. If that's Diaz playing first base, you got to do something. And so also Dusty Baker said the bullpen is a little bit beat up. And so Parker Muszynski was packing up his gear. So there probably going to be another guy coming up tomorrow. I'm not sure who's the name is. I don't know if you've seen anything since I went out to dinner, but
no, I haven't seen anything about who's being called up. Like you said, Parker is packing his stuff. I don't know. I mean, Ronel Blanco, I mean, he's
being lit up down in AAA too.
True. Martinez. Why don't you get Spaghetti on the 40-man?
Let's bring up Spencer Arrighetti right now. Let's just go bold. If the Angels can bring up their first round draft pick for this year, you can bring up Spencer Arrighetti. Let's do it.
Let's bring up Bryce Matthews from Fayetteville.
No.
I mean, come on.
He needs some time.
I know.
Yeah. But I think that the Astros, I know that Chas McCormick, they had a bad sin there. McCormick got thrown out, and Dusty said that the guy was 1.5 to the plate. He didn't get a good jump. The guy hopped it to second base. He hadn't thrown hardly anybody out. I thought it was a well-calculated play. It just doesn't work out. Sometimes baseball doesn't work out the way you want it to. Sometimes your team gets swept, and all you can do is just wash it off, go to the sink, get some nice antibacterial soap, and just wash it off and have a little meeting, yell at each other and say, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. And then everybody's like, you're right. It's my fault. Let's improve this. And then go to face the Red Sox and kick some butt.
Well, look, here's the deal with this whole thing. The Astros got kicked in the teeth. The Astros know what winning is. They've done a lot more losing, and they've been through a lot more adversity this year than any other team. Get the Astros to the playoffs. There's not another team on the planet that has as much experience and understands the moment better than this team. And look, another team that we play, I don't care who we play. Of course, they're going to come in and say, we're going to beat them. They don't scare us. That's fine. A team that you play shouldn't scare you. A team that you play that's better than you should respect. And the Astros didn't lose this series because they don't respect the Mariners. They just didn't play well, and the Mariners took advantage of it. The Astros had opportunities. Again, 2-0. The Astros should have won that game, but they made Miller look like a freaking Cy Young winner, and so they're just going to have to be better. Adversity always makes you stronger. This is the most veteran ball club when it comes to playoffs. And I think when the time is right, they get heated up really, really quick.
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with Kyle Tucker sitting out two games and potentially being ready for today's game. But Dusty Baker wanting to be cautious with his superstar, and he did get a pinch hit appearance. But I think that Astros fans wanted him to play, and especially with Alvarez struggling, but it's good to see him kind of get the 2 RBIs today. Alvarez.
Oh, Eric's a little choked up. Hey, thank you, Craig. I won't read that out loud, but if you're watching the YouTube channel, thank you. He said he wishes I was part of the M's podcast. Hey, man, I appreciate it. Look, man, I'm serious. We love talking baseball. We really need y'all to get us to 9,000 subscribers. If you want to win a Morgan Ensberg autographed baseball with the COA, if you want to win some bobbleheads, if you want to win some cool stuff, help us get to 10,000 subscribers. I promise you'll like what we have. And I just think this team at the end of the day ends up getting it done. Hunter Brown's tired. He needs rest. Maybe he has a phantom shoulder soreness come up, and where he doesn't get starched, where they skip him in the rotation. I mean, something. He needs rest. He needs a mental reset, because right now he just looks overworked to me.
Okay, we're going back to the phantom injury thing. Okay, all right. That's what we do on the Locked On Astros podcast. We create phantom injuries. He has an ingrown toenail.
Okay, Eric,
I know what you mean.
Hold on, time out. No, but time out. You know that's a thing in baseball, right? You do know that's a thing. Okay, that is the thing. Every time you hear your guy's injured, if it's a key time, if they're trying to conserve innings, workload management,
shots in the back,
you would be surprised how many guys. I mean, look, they put, like, I remember Taylor Jones was with us. He was on the 60-day IL, but he was still able to play. He was playing every day in AAA Sugarland when he was with us. So, that's just what is crazy about baseball. But I need the Astros to get, if they're in the wild card, I need them to get the top wild card spot.
Yeah.
If we're going to go for the division lead, we need to get the division lead. It's either the division lead or the top wild card spot, and I think they need to keep their eyes focused on that.
And that starts tomorrow with Christian Javier versus James Paxton. That's going to be an interesting matchup. And you can definitely listen to that on SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search Astros and go and hear all the play-by-play coverage. And hopefully Christian Javier can turn things around. And guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you check out your podcasts. Go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast. And Mariners, congratulations. Y'all won the series. Hopefully we win the war in the playoffs and everything. So if we get there, but definitely congratulations to Jose Altuve. 2,000 hits. Not a lot of players get there, and you got there. So congratulations to Jose Altuve and Brett.
Yeah, the 10th Venezuelan player in MLB history to do that, Jose Altuve, to be exact. And look, thank y'all for hanging out. Even if you're from Seattle, wherever you come from, whether you are from the Ukraine, whether you are from Taiwan, listening all over the globe from Mexico, thank you so much for making us an international smash hit. Hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and always make sure you check us out. We are your team every day. Go Stros. Don't lose the faith, y'all. Don't lose the faith. Refuse to lose.